Hey everybody, I'm that one guy, and I wanted to create a series of videos to go over the Weakauras I've created. The whole purpose of the Weakauras is obviously to help you better understand your spec and hopefully help you play better as a result, but also to gamify the game. Because WoW does present you with some spell alerts for the specs you play, but not all. And so that leaves you looking for ways to identify if a certain buff or debuff is active. And that's where Weakauras can come in play. And I wanted to do more than just have an icon with a timer in it, right? I wanted to try to present you with visual effects that make it feel more like a video game and immerse you more into the spec you're playing. At least that's the idea. So in these videos, I'm going to go over the Weakauras I've created, how I intend for them to work, and show you how you can modify them if you'd like. So whether you've already found my Weakauras, or you're looking for some for a certain spec, or you just want to have a better idea of how Weakauras work in general, hopefully these videos will help you with that. Okay, Feral Druids. There's so much. There's so much. All the buttons are cool. It's a really cool spec, but there is so much. I would not be opposed to Blizz pruning quite a few things. We've got so many cooldowns and so many charges of stuff, and then the snapshotting of your bleeds and things like that. There's just a lot. So I did my best to try to capture it all. I'm sure I missed some stuff. It can be a little overwhelming, but as always, you can delete stuff, move stuff around, set its load tab to never, change its colors, resize it, whatever you'd like to do to make it your own. So let's just see. And again, I feel like there's a lot there. There's just a lot, and I'll explain it all as I go through, and I'll try to do my best to show it in combat, but it was hard to pick up a little bit. So I'll go through all of it, and then the one little bit about the hero towns at the end. There wasn't much that I felt like you needed to include. You could do the Wildstalker vines, I guess, from Wildstalker. But same thing with the Ursine potential. If you're gonna talent into that spec when you're playing that hero talent, then we're gonna want to move where those little charges are. But let's just look at all the things. Cooldowns, simple, straightforward. You know those. If you're talented to Incarn, you won't have either of those two. Incarn is the one in the middle, Convoke's the one on the left, and Berserk is the one on the right. When there's 10 seconds or less left on those cooldowns, they'll pop up and you'll see them count down to being available. Combo points. Okay, there's two things to this. One, it's obviously just like the regular red thing, but it will turn yellow. I have it set to turn yellow when you have, I think it's less than 40 energy, right? Yeah, so when you have less than 40 energy, your combo points will turn yellow. If you don't think 40 is the right number, you can go to this conditions tab, and it's this one right here. So that if you think that needs to be 25 or turn it off completely, right, you can just delete that condition and the triggers will still work correctly. They'll still pop up on your screen. But I just did that as I was kind of going along just so that you would know, I would know if you're running out of energy or not. If you don't have any combo points though, like let's say you don't have combo points, then that visual won't help you. This will only pop up if you have no combo points and below 40 energy. It's just going to be a little mini energy bar to let you know how much energy you have until you either get back above 40 or have a combo point. That's all it'll do. It'll only show up with essentially no energy, that's why it's called that, no combo, no energy. It'll only show up when those two things are true. All right, and this is where we get into there just being so much. Tiger's Tenacity, right? And I'm sure I'll have to like jump around between a few different things just because of a lot of stuff comes back. But Tiger's Tenacity, when you activate Tiger's Fury, your combo points will restore, your finishers will restore 1 combo point. So there's your 3 charges of Tenacity, the little blue circles around those combo points. If you have no combo points, the little blue circles will still be there. And then just a Rake, Rip, Thrash, and Moonfire debuff that will glow when they're in the pandemic window. And while I'm talking about those, I'm going to jump to this, which I took from, I think it's oh man, I can't remember. It's OI, which I think was also from Moon Bunnies, which was from another person. But this wasn't mine. Yeah, made by OI, Itsune, maintained by Drew. There you go. It says it right there. They had essentially tracking the bleed power of stuff, and they had it as percentages and numbers. I took that, but I remodeled it for my own purposes, so it doesn't show the numbers. They're all set to alpha 0, so you won't see any of the numbers, you won't see any of that. But what you would see, and it'll only show up at one point, is like they had it as, essentially green, gray, or even neutral, and red. green meaning that your bleed strength currently would be stronger than what is active. Nothing at all, right? If you see nothing at all, then it's even with what you have active, and red means you'd be applying a weaker bleed. So if that's something you'd like to know and want to play around, there it is. If not, just go and click on this one, load tab and never, or delete it, right click and delete it. Otherwise, you'll get green and red squares around rake and rip to let you know if the bleed you would be applying is stronger, weaker, or the same as what you already have active. So that's why I jumped all the way down there. Then you just have sudden ambush when that is active, right? That'll pop up on your screen, right? The thing that makes your rake or shred hit like you're in stealth. I've noticed when that pops up, the little green box is usually around rake too, right? Because you'd be applying a stronger bleed. Adaptive Swarm, when it's off cooldown, it'll show right there. Tiger's Fury, I have to click on a few different things, okay? So Tiger's Fury, when it is off cooldown, there's just going to be that little button right there, right under your combo points. When there is 5 seconds or less, this will pop up on your screen and then start to fill. Right, so you'll know, because I read the thing, it's like, oh, when Tiger's Fury is coming up off cooldown, you should spend all your energy because it's going to give you your energy. So it's like, all right, if it wanted you to be aware of that, like, well, if that's the note they give you in the guide, I want to try to make sure that what I'm providing you can help you do that. So when there's 5 seconds or less, this will pop up, right? It's grayed out, and then it'll start to fill with a white background, letting you know it's about to be off cooldown. And then when it is off cooldown, it will just look like that. Okay? Feral Frenzy, same thing, little button on the side. Don't have the same settings for Adaptive Swarm and Feral Frenzy to let you know they're about to be off cooldown. I can, just as a little bit extra work. I just felt like, all right, those seem more so as like, use them, right? It's 25 second, 45 second cooldown. Use them. Again, so many cooldowns for Feral. And you can see all the different things. I don't even feel like I'm halfway through. Brutal Slash, the little charges, right? I'm pretty pleased with myself for finding something that looks, you'd think that's a claw, right? And I'm not going to tell you it's otherwise, but if you go look at what the display name of the icon is, you'll figure out what it is. But that looks like a nice little red talon, just like what you see in Brutal Slash. So those are your 3 charges of Brutal Slash. If you don't like where it is, you can click on it, the group tab, and change that X offset, even the Y offset if you want. I have them set to stack, right? So their Y offset is having them go up and down rather than horizontally left and right. But if you wanted to move that out further because you don't like where it is, that's where you could do that in the group tab. And for all of these things, if you go to the display tab, right, you can change the color of some things. The group ones, you might have to click on stuff individually because you see I usually use quite a few different images to overlap stuff to make the icon I'm looking for. But for a lot of these things, you can go in, and it's not too challenging to figure out how to change the color of things if you wanted to. If you wanted them to all match the color of your cat. Lion, panther. Sorry if saying cat is offensive. All right. Take away that. That's right. I want to do. And then, all right, Apex Predator. Again, stuff that it's interesting. Like that's like an important to know talent, right? It's something that pops up on your buffs, not on your screen, right? But it's something that does impact like your finishers and things like that. So it's amazing to me that an ability like this doesn't have no spell alert, nothing from WoW. The only spell alert I've noticed was Omen of Clarity or Clear Casting. So it's surprising to me that something that seems so important had nothing. But this is reused from like Tooth and Claw from Guardian. But just whenever you have Apex Predator, that'll pop up on your screen. I skipped over Overflowing Power, another thing that goes with your combo points. From Berserk, right, you can get up to 3 extra. Those are your up to 3 extra combo points. That's it. So when you're in your Berserk, right, and you have your Tiger's Fury, you have all of your combo points, you have the things that will restore 1 combo point each, and then you have the stored up charges of combo points from Berserk. So lots of stuff with combo points, lots of cooldowns. Again, lots of stuff to track that feels a little bit, much. Omen of Clarity. So it's not normally that color. The reason it's green, it's the regular Omen of Clarity color, that orangish red. The reason it's green is because I was tracking implant I originally had a spell alert for it, but I was like, you don't really play around. It's just a thing that happens. But when Omen of Clarity and Implant are active at the same time, those vines will be green. Just a slightly different, like I said, going for the video game thing, just a slightly different effect. Otherwise, it'll be that normal Omen of Clarity color. But if you ever see it green, like it is on your screen right now, that's why. If you're in Wildstalker and you have Implant active and Omen of Clarity, there you go. Otherwise, there's nothing that tells you have Implant active because it's just something that happens. A timer for Tiger's Fury, a timer for Berserk, and a timer for Incarn. And I'm going to reorganize some of these things so that they're in the order I want them to. Blood Talons, right? I know it's supposed to be 4 lines. Forgive me, don't look too hard at it. It's 4 if you squint. But that's your charges of Blood Talons right there. Again, as you're noticing, like I felt like I was running out of room on some stuff. So that's why things are kind of small and tight in there. If you wanted them spread out, I thought about maybe putting them on the sides over here, making them larger, but trying to keep it a little compact, small. Hopefully that's not too in the way. If you play really far zoomed out as these trees get in the way, it's not taking up too much. And again, they aren't all on your screen all at the same time. But there's a lot for Feral. Don't blame me. Take it up with Blizz. And then this is also from, I don't know if it'll say, it says it's based on Aisha's, but I can't remember who made it. But both of these, like a lot of times, like I'll start thinking of trying how to make something, and I'm curious how the community already did, and sometimes I'll see what they did, and I'll recreate it myself or do something a little different. Or if it's exactly what I wanted, I'll just take that and use that. And this one, again, I modified a little bit. What this does is it shows you the last ability or last 2 abilities you've used, right? Because to activate Blood Talons, you have to use 3 different abilities within 4 seconds, or 3 different builders, I should say, within 4 seconds. And so this tracks that, so that if you really wanted to know, like, which 2 did I already use, which is one I needed, but like you have so many options. I think 4 or 5 different options of builders that you can push, that you should be able to hit that every time. But in case you're wanting to like have a reference or something to double check, that's what this is. It would also normally show you then you do have Blood Talons and your charges of that, but I am using this instead. So just, again, something I modified. I'm using their, I don't want to delete or change anything in their Weakura because I know they're usually all tied together as they do custom stuff. But basically, you'll see is that'll show you the last 2 abilities you've casted within 4 seconds and when that will expire. So if that's something you want to track, it's there. If it's not something you want to track, just right-click and delete it, or go to the load tab and never. But it is not my creation. Like I said, I find stuff sometimes I think is great and just included in mine, so you don't have to get multiple different other things. And then just a Druid cast bar. It'll be orangish, I think, when you're doing stuff for the cat. So, again, nothing on your screen until you're in combat. As soon as you enter combat, right, stuff starts to pop up. And this, again, I'm right there with you and thinking there's a lot for Feral. Tell Blizz to prune it, right? Give him that advice. Your charges of Brutal Slash, Adaptive Swarm, Tiger's Fury, and Feral Frenzy all off cooldown. Convoke and Berserk off cooldown. This is the Blood Talons tracker thing I was telling you about. It's letting you know what you've cast, and then the time until that will expire no longer count towards those 3 casts kind of thing. Right? If I went up and I hit that, and then I did a different one, now I have Blood Talons, right? Because I did my 1, 2, and 3 different things. Omen of Clarity procced, right? And again, letting you know what you have or haven't cast. There is Sudden Death, right? Or Sudden Ambush, not Sudden Death. That's the warrior thing, but the Sudden Ambush thing that makes your single targets act like they're, hitting out of stealth. And that's pretty much the gist of it, right? Like that'd be the main stuff. There isn't anything extra special for the hero talents except for Ravage, right? If I went to Druid of the Claw, there would be a lot in there, but it's mostly for Guardian, because Guardian, if you're going to cat weave, you care about Rake and Rip, and you care about your wild power surges, but you'd see they'd be stacked up right behind your combo points. And for Feral, they go to 8, not 6. So if that's something that you play and you want to track, you let me know, because it's not supported by this yet. And then it would really just be Ravage, right? When Ravage is active, you'd see that on your screen. Just another thing to add and keep track of. I did not track Adaptive Swarm because it was just another debuff. I'm like, you know what? Use it on cooldown if you're an AoE and you want to totally min-max it. Maybe glance at it, but I didn't have that. If you feel like I absolutely have to, let me know. But again, same thing. If you don't care about Thrash and Moonfire, right click and delete, or go to the load tab and check never. They won't show up on your screen. So I'm just gonna play through it for a bit. I'm not a great Feral player. I'll clunkily go through the things. So this is not a guide. Don't criticize my playing ability. I'm just showing you how the stuff pops up on your screen, and maybe we'll see some of the procs and some of these green or red squares around Rake and Rip. Those are really fun to try to repeat consecutively over and over again. But nothing shows up, right? Again, until you're in combat. As soon as you enter combat, stuff will show up. Let me go into stealth. There we go. And hit some stuff, right? And there's my trackers till I have Blood Talons. Being in Tiger's Fury, I applied Rip, so that when you go in Tiger's Fury, you can see now it's green because, hey, this would be a stronger Rip that you would apply. And then it goes to just being... neutral, right? No extra value added. Red means you'd be applying a weaker version of that, and you can see your brutal slash charges that you have Blood Talons again. And then so typically, I know if you're familiar with, and there's our Apex Predator stuff, if you're familiar with Feral, that when you enter Tiger's Fury is when, right, all that stuff changes and you'd be applying your strongest version of those. So that's where it would be green. Apex Predator, Sudden Ambush, my combo points. I know I have one more thing of Tiger's Tenacity. I have my 3 charges of Brutal Claw. I have Berserk. I have Convoke that I just used both. Stuff's flying around. All right, Apex Predator again. A Sudden Ambush, but still a weaker Rake. I could apply Rip, right, just for the purpose of showing off stuff. And then you saw Tiger's Fury was letting me know, right, that it was about to be back up off cooldown. But so as you're playing, if you're really good at Feral and you understand Feral, I would imagine that this would be helpful to you. To somebody like myself, it's all right. I'm still clunkily trying to learn how to do things. It's a foreign thing to me for sure that I am trying to figure out. And see, there's letting me know that Tiger's Fury is about to be back up. The only thing I'll say about those the bleed strength things is obviously if your dot is not active, if Rake or Rip are not active, it's not going to show anything, right? Because obviously applying the dot is stronger than no dot. It's only when there's one active is when you'd see the green or red. But that's it. That's what it would look like as you're playing. I think I went through everything and showed you how stuff would appear. I don't think we saw a green Omen of Clarity and Ravage for the hero talent of Druid of the Claw would just kind of pop up where you saw it. If you think I left anything out, I'm always open to feedback and interested in changing things for people who actually main the spec and will play it a lot, because you're going to be the one staring at it more than me. I just try to make it functional for you guys. So that's it for me. I hope you like it and have fun. Again, I hope you found that helpful. I do intend to make a Weakura pack for every spec. So if I haven't made one for the spec that you play or that you'd like to see, just comment that down below. Again, I do intend to make one for every spec, but if I see people asking for it or really wanting one, I'll probably get to it quicker than if I just do it on my slow, leisurely pace. I hope it will enhance your gameplay. Like I said, it's all about gamifying the game and making it more fun and more immersive for you, while also helping you improve as a player, because the information that you need to react to is hopefully more readily available. If you have any other questions about this Weakura pack that you just watched or any other ones, again, please feel free to comment. I try to be as interactive as possible in my YouTube section. And that's it. I hope you have a great day.